We are going to continue with 5D Mystic Stories. I get to be the 5D Mystic who shares with you all the human elements from the spiritual and spirituality elements, which means subject matters, and discerning minds. Those are the intelligent ones. Also equanimous minds, and that which is what God is to me, discerning equanimous love, because there's not a God that would be vengeful, fear-mongering, all of the low frequency of what is actually the sympathetic dorsal vagal. So I'm attachment trauma informed, and I didn't go about my business trying to prove that I was right, which is what adaptive child part people do, which is why they have a losing strategy, but not with couples, because healthy self-worth, actual fierce lovers don't do petty shit. I'm 45, so yeah, thanks Terrio for all of your information on what an adaptive child part does. But yeah, it's a losing strategy from the ego perspective of a smart brain. So when I meet lack of intelligence, I don't do anything because I don't want to waste Maria's time. I'm not vain or cocky. I'm simply very thorough, and I am a perfectionist, but perfection doesn't exist. Thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel, for your PDP framework. So here's what grounded in reality people do. They understand data. So when you hear a scientist lady say, any smart person could use data the way they want, you're like, yeah, I can. I won't try, but you better bet I know who's going to make it their mission to try to prove that I'm using data in a very calculated way, the same people who have seaweed inside of them. Ursula, I'm building a community so they know my funny stories. If you're new, it's okay. Ursula, poor unfortunate souls, so sad, but true. That one wanting to be pretty, that one wanting to get the girl, and do I help them? I don't. Ursula does though. Poor unfortunate souls, so sad, but true. As the 4D frequency, they continue to navigate, and it's completely healable. By the way, so pause self people, cowards, are not impressive. They could use Patrick Tiahan to learn to love themselves first. They don't know passion. They don't know love. Can't be a lover if you're lazy. And your laziness comes from my perspective in the aspect of when you wake up in the morning, are you feeling good today? And that means happy. And if you don't think happiness is something that's achievable, well, you don't want to be here, because the consistent ventral energy is happy. So we're going to end up making you sick to your stomach, which is okay. Meaning, I get it because I've been told myself. Are you kidding me? So that's how textbook trauma experts, I have seen it again and again and again, and I will not be educating those who think, you're asking me to have one emotion, Maria. You can't always be happy. Wow, should I ask you if you want me to be sad or mad? No, maybe you just don't want, no. Again, I don't really bother trying. So the point is, when you hear rejection is protection for 4D mystics, those are the same ones who will say, one day someone walked into my life and let me know why all those other relationships didn't work. And I wore a shirt. And I did shorts like that. Yeah, but no, it wasn't like that. I was trying to make a point. The secure attachment people are considered boring. I find boring cowards, and I find them uninteresting. I also find them not infuriating, because I can't correct your idiocy, but also the trauma experts made me aware of just how shitty life is when you begin life with the 3 first years of your life being full of fear. And I have compassion. I'm also one person who wants to say, I'm here to motivate. No, I'm here to inspire human potential. I don't motivate you to be yourself. That's where you come in. And there's bountiful of people who prefer a story. Yes, they will choose a story, and they are not all mystics. Oh no, spiritual bypassers are only one group. I've never seen a medium ever. Sure you haven't, because you're not spiritual, but that's okay. Brain can fall out of your asshole. Sure it can again. Okay, again, some people are not stupid because we're not manipulable. And even if we quote unquote are, we really aren't. We just don't actually, excusez-moi. It's not for me. So yes, as I was saying, the ones who don't recognize the truth, they have distorted versions of themselves. They like teenagers, and they do superheroes and supervillains. And as I got older, I really didn't think this would happen. I didn't think people would stay stupid. And I don't use that word that often, because I taught myself how to be kind to my brothers and sisters. Cheers to passionate lovers who do know how to navigate the winds and waves of change with a discerning Healthy, self-worth, loving compass, because we know what love is, and it is a consistent frequency. So while our ancient ancestors apparently thought only one human being is love, I know differently, and those who don't want, it's okay. Again, jealousy, pettiness, low self-esteem, indirect communication. I don't really look up to any limited consciousness. I don't look down to them because God told me better. Thanks God. How to be discerning, equanimous love? Yes. And also the kingdom of God can be within you if you get integrity first, which means you get your child self out there, which means you save yourself versus telling us how to save ourselves, which we don't need you. I don't need saving. I ain't in hell in my body. I wake up very energized. I don't do the martyr superior shit, and I don't do the blamer victim shit either. And when I meet any of them, they don't like that. I don't pat them on the back or give them a bone because I don't do the let me acquiesce to your request. You're so serious. Stop being serious. You are so rigid. Sure, I'm all of those. No, I'm not. I'm healthy self-worth. Meet Terry Real. Come on in, Terry Real. What's up? So when he introduces to you what people do, they typically marry their unfinished business. I said, no, not the smart ones of us don't, because we don't have instability, immaturity. We do not have rigidity because we have stability, maturity, adaptability, smart. And we also do richness, not poorishness, which means the seaweed inside, and we are teachable versus I know everything about everything and you're confusing science spirituality. No, I'm not. I love meeting smart human beings. Thanks, Robert Sapolsky. Your frontal cortex is part of your brain that is freest from genetic influences. Lo and behold, here's my superpower. Tina, come on in. There's my twin. I have implicit memory. I'm not alone, and I'm the bossy one of the two. So when you learn how to repair ruptures again, being yourself means, oh, I can be all by myself. I want to be, no, I can, because I know ventral energy. While those who waste their life away, well, again, we're not going to give them anything, except for it is the ability to bring out the best in others that make you a leader. Thanks, Sadhguru. It makes you a leader to be healthy self-worth or unhealthy self-worth and be on a screen with fancy suits, make millions, and have people follow you because they don't want to, do real emotions. They're like, the modern day therapists are trying to imprison me so that I can consistently stay addicted to drama. Drama kings and queens are actually addicted to drama. There's a course out there, NICBM, yeah, because they're smart people. And the ones that they're wanting to make us wusses. No, they're making you actual humans, but you don't have to go down the path of having that which is within you. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. Thank you. This was the quote that I misquoted in that other episode. Yeah, and if you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Self-loathing, gut wrench, torn apart, trauma charges are going to keep coming up. And 4D, 3D, well, the body is benevolent like God is. So at a certain point, the dark sides of neuroplasticity, well, you won't notice it. Not you, but those who do have poor, unfortunate souls. So sad. I'm a healer. How dare you trauma dump on me? Or the aliens are going to come get us. Or technology, they're taking away our humanity. How many different ways can I let you all in on? Fun fact, ding, 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 grounded in reality people do bring sciences and spirituality together. I'm talking about smart academics, not idiots. And the ones who give you golden nuggets, well, again, they're not actually the ones that I'm looking at. I'm looking more at Hippocrates, the Greek physician known as the father of medicine. He wrote, men think epilepsy divine merely because they do not understand it. And Patrick McNamara proves there's no demons possessing people, but that when they have decentralizing of the self, lo and behold, if it goes well, awesome, we got expansion of consciousness. It goes shitty, what we got is a fear receptor in the brain going wonky, tick-tock, poof, and trauma time it is. And then we have fragmentation, forgetting where you've been, forgetting where you've gone, what you've worn, where's your phone, all of it, and it's all healable. And people who like to talk about themselves as healers, and then they don't notice that they are not grounded in aliveness because their body goes on, off, because they had a freaky, horrible, shitty first 3 years of life. Yeah, I'm not giving them a pat on the back. That's called trauma, consistently on a wheel and them continuing to perpetuate it. I don't support cowards because, it's not about Lucifer. It's that they're ignoring their first 3 years of life that did everything they could, that body. Thanks, Stephen Porges. Your physiological response didn't want to be traumatized. It didn't want to be unkind. And if you want a story versus data, well, again, let's see, additional Hippocrates quotes. Walking is man's best friend, best medicine, excuse me. First, do no harm. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. All diseases begin in the gut. The gut is the first brain. Wow. I wonder, who let the. So again, it's very clear with neurobiology, mental health professionals, neurosciences, all of the smart ones, why there are those who have hell in their body. And it's the same reason why the lack of imagination for evil person is a father wound person, not a father figure, because the minute you give me a text in 1 minute and you tell me why man won't text me back, and in 1 minute you make me, woman, know that I'm disgusting and I'm what was it? I'm held in contempt and I'm disgusting. And then I don't know where the shame goes. You've not educated shit. You've simply perpetuated something called not only gender biases and the woman with her little wedding bells shit. So I do 1 minute shorts too. And I do try to ensure I share something that it can be taken out of context. Of course it can. But in 1 minute, you ending with shame and the wedding bell shit doesn't make me think, oh, wow, you're empowering people. I ain't looking at you in a way of, wow, but you got millions and millions of followers. What was it, Schopenhauer? You want to reach a large audience. Appeal to the masses. Anybody watch Gladiator? You know what is up with pathologies is that they have low intelligence, even when they think they have high intelligence. You're not omnipotent. The fact is you're a low self-esteem person. Not you, but those who have it. So anybody who's petty, 3-year-old, it's the 3-year-old who is crying bloody murder and wants healing. The 16-year-old thinks they're an actual superhero, supervillain. I really didn't think I'd be here talking on YouTube about shit like this, but wow, I'm sure that there are those of you who are like, finally, someone who's talking some sense between mystics and spiritual and mindfully living, loving people with savior complexes. I have words. When someone tells you can't always be on and they don't hear their words and they're in a field that you will know they have more degrees than you ever will have, you wonder, okay, excuse me, you just did the lack of self-aware, accountable, regulating, adaptive child part shit thing and didn't catch yourself. I'll catch myself because yes, I am a perfectionist, but I know that there's only imperfection. This is where, thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel. So with my PDP framework and that whole personality stuff, yes, I still am the same human being I was when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I grew up organically to become a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable brain. It's not black and white. And anybody who doesn't notice their black and white thinking and justifies their story, I mean, come on. Superheroes, supervillains, this is so lame. What a waste of time. You're visceral, limited consciousness. You're not doing anything modulated embodiment people except for not hearing the educational material well. And people who want shortcuts. Wow. A wise man should consider that health is the greatest of human blessings. Yes, and your ventral vagal state is your greatest blessing. And anybody who doesn't want it, keep on being addicted to drama. Please keep being addicted to your stress and your sympathetic and go and have fun with kinky shit and make it sound reasonable. All of those who are not actually enlightening brains, there are a bunch of scientists and mystics who will say, let me point a finger at her, at me. That's okay. I'm okay with being crooked. I know what I'm speaking about because the data replicates. The only ones who do this shit are the same shame, blame, fault, man. They're all in shame. They all have something to prove to themselves, not to me. And that's why we won't be liked. Oh, I don't care about being like teenagers and we're not somebody I looked up to. I looked up to grown-ups and I realized they don't know everything and they're just as immature as children as I got to become a grown-up. God is still discerning upon himself, which is why he keeps reminding me, Maria, stop judging human suffering. I'm doing a way better job, aren't I? After Buddha made fun of me, God. So there's that. Mystics is fun to be a mystic. Yes, Akashic record reader, Reiki master. People who don't believe in us, it's okay. They don't have to. We don't need to be believed in. I'm happier that people believe in neuroscience. And when someone's like, yeah, everyone has something to believe in. I don't believe Patrick McNamara that there's no demons possessing a person. I still believe there are because I saw it in church. I know what you saw. I know what's happening. And I've been giving you data. I'm not making it up from my asshole. But again, I won't be doing that to a person who tells me everyone has something to believe in when they hear neuroscience. I'm a psycho education lady, the pseudoscience, meaning I fuck data up, I forget it. I respect the data people. And I do not want people who want a story. I ain't giving you a story. I'm giving you Maria and new stories. So, functional child adult right here. I love learning and I love being surrounded by smart people. Thanks YouTube and social media and everything online, because really these people who care about what they do, they teach us, and I buy courses, good ones, and when I get the shitty ones, I still learn shit. Because you know, cheerleaders and jocks, they come together to save each other because they're sharing a pain point and they're dragging it all around. Without failure, there cannot be expansion. And the gladiator, and then when he's doing this or this, and you can tell he's really knowing what's gonna fucking happen, and yet there you go, ego. You're losing strategy. Oh, I won't lose. I'll just watch as you wither away in your body, not happily, might I add. No, 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 but God keeps reminding me again, it ain't your call, Maria. Unkind people, not Lucifer. They need Terry Real, Patrick Jehan. The soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. Yes, thank you, Hippocrates. Healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. Yes, this is an opportunity, and the ones who don't want it, she's bullshit, she's this, she's that. Attachment wounds flare up when they meet healthy self-worth people all the time, not just sometimes. They just don't have the guts to tell you in your face. Like the teenagers. Again, I'm not afraid of cowards. They always do the same thing. They hide shit. Because a 3-year-old who's afraid of getting punished is going to hide shit. From you, from them. The 16-year-old's going to think they're doing some badass shit. And it's like, sure you are. I've never gotten into any drama because I'm like, what are you doing? No, because lies have short legs. Lies come to the comb. Like there's an Italian saying, there's a bunch of sayings, and really, consistency is what I'll notice. Inconsistency, I will also notice. Cusco only has 5 hands, is how I keep putting it. Really, because by the 3rd time, I'm like, okay, now I see you. I see what you've dressed me up as. By the 5th time, I've interacted with complete self-distortion of you, and now I know really what you're made of. And by the time I've gotten to know in and out behavior, whatever, you know who are the worst ones? Yeah, once they come out of the woodwork, there's no turning back for me. And it's because healthy self-worth, passionate human beings who are lovers, we don't pretend to be ourselves. We authentically share. Once we find out we got a liar in front of us, you're not here because of being a friend of mine, a lover of mine, nothing. No, you're just here as a self-fulfilling prophecy of I don't even know what. And you have unfinished business, and you're not choosing psychological development. You're choosing to play it on a wheelhouse. I don't do wheelhouse because I don't do karma. Also because unhealthy self-worth people have mannerisms that are really, really biologically rude. And red and yellow, when it comes up, it'll be addressed by a healthy self-worth woman, man or they, but it won't be addressed in a way of let me shame you. No. Equanimous, calm-centered, discerning, wise, good judgment, very few words, loving, kind, accept, respect, you do you, I do me. What we have within us is our salvation, and if we deny that salvation, then we are subject to the fate of what happens if we don't live the best version of ourselves. Thank you, Greg Braden. However, the best version of yourself will not even begin to be the best version if you have not owned your first 16 years of life with your brain, prefrontal cortex. And that's the part of where the phrase, take me as I am, anybody? Yeah, so that's why I'm not God, and God tells me everybody gets to choose, Maria, if they want to suffer or not. And that's why Buddha makes fun of me. And Jesus doesn't say anything. I uphold Jesus. And they all walk restorative embodiment self. And that's just Jesus, Buddha. God obviously doesn't walk. We know that part. Akash, source, divinity doesn't become part of embodiment. No. Every little bit of every little speck, we integrate. No, we come together. We don't integrate. We differentiate. And then we, through differentiating, create a we, as Dr. Daniel Siegel would say, and we expand each other. So 5D collective expands with all, which is why 4D, 3D, they can keep navigating the fear frequency. They won't want to be with us because we don't do characterological distinctions. We don't shame you. We don't blame you. We don't fault revenge. We will talk straight at you. Do you know what happened to me once? I've shared this story before. So the prayer, take me as I am, is where we are asking God to accept us despite our faults. Truly repenting for one's sins means that you feel guilty, you feel ashamed, you take ownership of it, you don't repeat it again. People who are healthy, self-worth, functional child adults do this. Not people who pretend to be functional adults who follow a fancy lady in her suit who tells you it's not inherently healthy or enlightening to be non-reactive. That's a bullshit statement. Non-reactivity means that your nervous system is in ventral vagal state. She took something out of context because she doesn't like the modern day therapist and she didn't learn anything. I did, and I noticed her pattern. Anyone who gets on a screen and says, women, women, gather round, when he fucks you, remember, and I'm not thinking of anything. I've told empowered women and men this story, and they will both agree with me. And then there are those who say trending topics. I don't give a shit. Wedding bells. And then she goes on to do other videos, which makes me aware that she's completely full of stereotypes. Like the man, lack of imagination for evil. Again, whether you're playing a crowd or not, I don't give a shit. You're acting like you know what you're talking about. And I'm thinking that ain't funny because you're perpetuating ignorance. Like what was it, psychology that says we have a left and a right brain and one takes over from the other. And I know that I don't express data correctly all the time, but I know they both work. Mine work together because I'm an integrated brain. Thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel. And the ones who aren't, they don't work together because the left will work without the right. And they both cancel each other out unless you're a mindfully aware person with your mind-sight skills. So you choose, I don't want structural dissociation, don't want to be an adaptive child version of myself. I want to own my subconscious. EMDR, child parts work, somatic, sensory motor. And then you say, yes, I want personal development, self-help, not, I don't want it. Resiliency, what does it mean? It means I have to do emotions all the time. Me. The people who are doing the work that won't be here, that I honor, are people who are doing something with Dr. Daniel Fox, with Bethany Brand, with Ruth Lanius. We won't see them on screen letting us know 5 ways to make it work with an avoidant. I don't think so. 5 ways to have an avoidant become a securely attached person, because I ain't going in a path of you not knowing how to be a lover. Why would you allow your body to not get to its optimized version when it's going that way? Doesn't make any sense. How am I a leader if I allow you to find an excuse for why you're going to stay in a low frequency? And the ones who don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But stop making it sound like we shouldn't have you heal all your trauma, because that sounds to me like you don't want to have what your body is leading you towards. Empowered feminine. The body is smarter than the masculine by itself, because your narrative is not what you are. Thanks, Stephen Porges. Your physiological response. If you don't know how to use your ventral vagal state, you're not using a resource that gives you stress. So I'm not the one who gets tired out when I'm interacting with people. I don't need numbing agents. I don't need anything. I'm just Maria, who has no stress whatsoever. My 0-1-year-old doesn't try to attach to anyone. I have a secure attachment, non-traumatized. And when you meet low self-esteem people, they're really boring, because really they don't know how to love. So the prayer also includes, summon out what I shall be and set your seal upon my heart. The Holy Spirit, yes. So when people talk about it with medieval textbooks, that's not the Holy Spirit. You have to have an unconsciously loving, open heart. Solo self needs to be able to coexist. Securely attached and untraumatized person can coexist with even the lowest of frequencies and be in the presence with them in the state of love. In the meantime, whatever's happening inside of them, I've had people tell me that it's very, very profound. I have one of my beautiful, most amazing people out there. And when her and I get together, it is like 7th heaven. I kid you not. This woman, I have seen her very few times, but we will be attached at each other's limbs. That's how magical this relationship is. And the last time I saw her, I just made sure, I said, look, what you're describing to me, I can hear you. What's coming out from here, just help me understand if it's a good thing, or do you need me to move away from you right now because I'm attachment trauma informed. I didn't give them all the in-depth details. They should, no, it's good. So that means they welcomed whatever came up, and at the very bare minimum, they're healing. So somatic empaths bring out that which is ready to be welcomed by another person. However, doesn't mean that they're in their health. No, they're not. But take me as I am. Again, I'm not God, so I know that people will be who they will be. And thanks to Sadhguru, we do know yoga, yes, is a method to experience the within. It's ventral vagal toning exercises. And here's Sam Harris. If your beliefs are not falsifiable, there's no scenario that could convince you that your most cherished opinions are in error, then that's proof that you didn't get them by being in contact with reality. I know that for all I know, people are fine just the way they are. Determined. Thanks, Robert Spolsky. And so, no, they won't all achieve healthy self-worth. In the meantime, though, I know that Jesus says the kingdom of God is within you. Sadhguru shares the seed of enlightenment is there in every being. And again, the soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. Thanks, Hippocrates. Peter Levine, trauma is stored in your muscles, bones, and tissues, and he knows how deeply those are stored, which is why you don't speed up recovery. No. Trauma is not a story of something that happened in the past. It is the imprint that all experiences leave on your soul and your body as your sensations. Bessel van der Kolk. Pat Ogden now. Trauma impacts the body so strongly, and the responses that the body has are often not metabolized. So people get stuck in trauma time. They can't move on from it until those responses are metabolized. And there's many, many more, which we might do another episode on. Being terrified that a rupture means the end of a relationship sets you up from the very beginning to have a relationship that isn't genuine, that isn't real, that doesn't involve being able to just be yourself. Russell Colt's PhD. And here's Richard Schwartz, PhD. When you get good parenting and you don't have a lot of attachment wounds from your past, from your parents, then you don't have a lot of protectors, you don't have a lot of exiles, and you have a lot more access to self in general. Secure attachment is when you're more self-led. So for those who need Terry Real and Patrick Teahan, that's awesome that they'll go to them so they can learn to get out of non-securely attached trauma time stuff. Learn to love themselves first, stop repeating their past, bringing it to the table, pretending to be lovers that they're not. And again, those of us who instead know how to love, we will be taken as we are by God, and anyone in flesh can go screw themselves, because really it's that straightforward. Again, the people who are twisting words are the same ones who will tell you about manipulation in this way of, watch out. And anyone who's ever thought that they're manipulable, I've always thought, wow, I see you have no faith in yourself. It's impressive. Oh, Maria, but they can manipulate you. I see you have lost your faith in humanity. You must not understand what I am. I'm of spirit, I'm of source, I'm of God, and I'm an empowered feminine. So I will always see infinite potential in any masculine. I will also notice when they're not achieving it. And I will also not be the one who does anything about it. I ain't your mama, I ain't your papa. I don't do let me baby you. That's not what partnership is anywhere near about. Lovers meet when mental, emotion, physical, self-agency, love, and healthy habits are pursued daily on purpose. Anybody who's allowing themselves to stay in maladaptive patterns of behavior, low frequency, all of it, I don't take seriously, because sooner or later you're going to get bored with the ventral energy, because that's what a lover is. When a person's always on and being their true self, and people don't get those attachment wounds and their drama fix healed and they're in and out, stress healed, or they don't want to be around us because we're in prefrontal cortex. They're looking for people who are navigating the temporal junction, like the Zen master, who will say, you have laundry. Don't you know you have to fail? You have to hit rock bottom. Okay, but they're not just saying the words, they're like doing it. And it's like, I don't know, I don't know, sad, mad, afraid, must be the panic attacks, gave me good practice, surprise, happy, disgusted, why are you making this sound so dramatic, human being? Emotions, you're emotionless, again, you must not know the depths of yourself. So it is the ability to bring out the best in others that makes you a leader. Again, I'm here to inspire your infinite higher human consciousness potential by letting you know, as a mystic, spiritual, and mindfully living, loving person, I get to be the proof. But I can't prove it to you. My body can't. You have to be the one to do mindfulness practices, have mindset skills available, because you have all your child parts in the forefront, and so you can do the inner growth mindset because you have an integrated brain, bilateral and vertical and overall. So what comes up doesn't go back down, goes sideways, doesn't go outward, and you don't make up some bullshit statements of people having to go through suffering. Mindfulness can help integrate the mind, body, and relationships, which can lead to well-being. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. Pat Ogden. A non-traumatized person with a secure attachment has the capacity to regulate independently of relationships. I do it all the time. And I bring together human, spiritual, and spirituality elements to explore human evolution and consciousness and you being yourself. Fear doesn't win, but it has a place in the unfolding of life, self, human evolution, and consciousness. Walk like an Egyptian. I don't navigate the lower frequency realm, but I do understand that they will continue to do their dramatic queen, king, all of it. You're going to find out more as we keep moving forward, because we make fun of them, because we bring forth our humanity. They bring forth, well, what Robert Sapolsky has already talked about. I love you, Robert. I make fun of your book, but I love the book. So those who choose fear Yes, they choose limited consciousness and self. Their distorted self will tell you who their Wendy and Peter Pans are, and then we just follow. No, we don't follow them. They following the leader. They continue to mesmerize us with more of poor unfortunate souls. I love their stories. They ask each other punishing questions when they shouldn't go on dates at all. They just should go to Patrick Tan so they can stop questioning themselves, being pissed at men and women, and continuing to enter unhealthy, not self-worth relationships. We choose the 5D mystic, spiritual, mindfully living, loving people here at IHP to live and create resiliency in our restorative embodiment. That's why we do personal development, self-help, and that's spiritual growth. You don't access your unconditional love, the soul, the piece of source you are, when you're, wearing a dress. I bring together human and spiritual. We're a community, a function of child adults. Yes, we love to be self-aware, accountable, and regulating in our ventral vagal state. We love stories, and our stories are not fake. So when I have astral travel, past lives, I don't think of them as fake, but I can respect the ones who call me woo-woo pseudoscience. And I know that smart scientists actually find it very fascinating to meet those of us from the land of faith, spirituality, because that's why they're smart scientists and the real ones. But they also don't think one is more important than the other, because they will treat them as separate subject matters, and that they also come together. Smart human beings have intelligence. It's called mental, emotional, and physical intelligence. They're not biased when it comes to data. And they also know what quantitative and qualitative data is, which is why they're not the idiots who say, I know everything. No, you don't. If you're coming from science, you don't know how to be a mystic because you haven't had the experiences. You know of stories, you know of books. You can tell me that it's folklore. You can keep on using all those words. I know of historians. As long as you're technical, you're not spiritual. That's fine. You don't have to be. But the smart ones, that's why, again, they won't be disrespectful, because smart people have stability, maturity, adaptability, rationality, and they're teachable, and they actually are not perpetuating any of that which is trauma. So they're not going to do let me talk down to you, because that's an insecure person. They're not going to do let me talk up to you. That's another insecure person. They're going to talk straight at you. And when people don't see you because they actually have shame, this has happened, the story that I think I mentioned at a certain point. It reminded me of a 4D mystic who thought we wouldn't be seen as we're reading coffee cups and tarot. And I'm like, we will be seen. We don't have the invisibility cloak of Harry Potter. This person, though, they could not see me. I spoke in their face at one point. I'm like, this is not happening. I'm right here physically. I know I am. I can see myself. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Completely as if I had not been there. I was like, okay. So at a certain point, finally, they looked over. The first time I'll never forget, because they looked over like this. And they said to me, don't look at me. I know what they say about me. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm fine. And I said, I'm not looking at you like that. And I didn't say you're an alcoholic. I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know who you're talking about either. Who are all the people. Then he did it a second time. And then he did it a third time. And finally, we became acquaintances, to then friends, to then him being a person who astonished me and actually made me very emotional when he made sure he could speak some English to present himself to my family. And he made a funny joke that everybody remembers because of how he called me, because he gave me a nickname, because he gives everybody a nickname. And this is beautiful that he got better at a certain point because he got motivation. Why? Because he got a good job. And that doesn't mean he's living the high life, but I got to see that he got healthier, which made my heart happy. Is it the best health he could? No, he could go to therapy. He's not going, but I mean, that's the part. So everybody gets to choose what they want to do with life. The ones who ignore the truth, they like stories because they're continuing to perpetuate maladaptive patterns of behavior for nothing more than like the fancy lady in her suit. It's dangerous to have no emotions. They're trying to imprison us. Moron again. It is inherently healthy and enlightening to be non-reactive. You just don't want to get there, which is fine. Stay in your modulated embodiment with your dysregulated nervous system. Stay hooked on drama. Stay hooked on stress. Stay hooked on all that is visceral and yucky. I'm not going to do anything. Meantime, ascension energies are going to keep bringing shit up. But once you've settled into your stagnating energy, you're going to simply be what our ancestors were, which is why it's not a big deal You won't have the kingdom of God heaven in your body. You won't have torture either, but you definitely won't be expanding as a piece of consciousness. And those who are cut off from Purusha Prakriti don't want to be around the healthy self-worth ones of us because we are smart asses. And actively, my secure attachment will have all those attachment wounds. They're still in there. They're going to get flare up. They will not want to be around us because of our ventral energy. That's actually explained by smart data people, so it's not a story. Deb Dana, Stephen Porges, thanks. 2 ways that people will interact with ventral energy. Get away from me. Yeah. And it's not a demon. It's actually the poor inner child. No, it's a teenager who's fighting their own self. So I actually don't have anything to say except for if only teenagers were not assholes in adolescence, pretending to be mean when they're vulnerable. But those teenagers that had a shitty upbringing don't have an actual choice. The spiritual Zen someone's like, they have choices. No, they don't. Not at 8 years of age. They're codependent. You're expecting an 8-year-old to know how to do life when they've been fear-mongered the entirety of their life, which means that they don't have safety at all. They just think everyone is out to get them, evil, and some shit's going down. So I will say from the spiritual perspective, a person doesn't have the capacity to make choices at their 8 years of age, that they will hopefully get someone around them that doesn't say, you know what, you have a gift. As this lady who's interviewed by somebody for schizophrenia says, they told me I had a gift instead of sending me to a doctor. And we hope that there's better doctors that know that schizophrenia is different than borderline and that they heal them. So we also want that to be improved. Smart people want improvement, not dismantling. And the ones who think that only spirituality or only science, they have completely divisive, non-bilaterally stupid brains. Because that's the stupid brain when you don't understand to see the full picture. And I look forward to the future because I know there will be holistic doctors, because the smart scientists are the doctors who know about holistic, but they don't get into spiritual bypassing and think neuroscience doesn't know as much as the ancient ancestors did. Okay, you're doing this comparison thing again. You are missing the point of what neuroscientists can know, what our ancient ancestors didn't know, and you're putting it into competition. That's not how panel of experts do it when they care about what they do. So when I say smart people, I mean the experts who come together and actually bring it all in, not the ones who keep it all divided. They're more like those poor children. I mean, really, they have no fun. They don't have the capacity to bring rainbows together. We do, which is why I look forward to our 5D collective, because it's science and spirituality who come together and not by competing. It's okay. No demons inside of people. Trauma charges inside of people. Some people don't want to heal. Some people do. What do? Well, we work with ones who want to heal. Awesome. And so we work with the ones who are serious, not the ones who want to give half a way out. No. I've seen those. They have another group. No, we don't have to heal all trauma. Yes, we are going to minimize it. We understand that it's not deletable, but we're going to make sure to be the best version. So get your 2 hands and your 2 feet, and Pat Ogden, Bezel van der Kolk, there's a bunch of them again who know how to tell you the right way to do it. And no, not with the drugs and all by yourself. Thanks, Peter Levine. I can't wait for your book to come out on how to do the psychedelics appropriately. Those who don't like rules in the way of let me guide you through it so you don't get re-traumatized every time your trauma charges come up. Yeah, those are the same teenager assholes who don't listen to grown-ups and who use their information ineffectively. I saw them as a teenager. I actively saw kids take information that was educational and twist it and make it out to be harmful. And they thought of it as cool because teenagers think that rebelling is cool. And I'm like, you're doing dangerous shit. Get away from me. At a certain point, you're all cowards, you're backstabbers, you don't know what you're doing. The grown-ups did mention all this shit. You are actually not people that I will ever in a million years want to be near, because you're backstabbers, liars, and dangerous to yourselves, not to me. I will have learned how not to follow idiots. Navigating life with a healthy self-worth compass, it means serious. No, I'm thorough, and I know what health is. You obviously don't. And you don't know what data is. If you did, then you'd know moderation. And then you'd know that science and spirituality work together. No, science doesn't know everything. When I meet the shitty doctors, I know who they are because they will disregard the fact of very important information. I don't walk. I'm inside all the time. I work from home. You don't just say, here, let me pop you a pill. And can we stop with the whole pharmaceutical ignorance? This is where conspiracies, everyone's out to get anyone when you got a teenager in the room. It's really boring. They also don't know who God is. If they did, they would know he always wins. Not Lucifer. Lucifer's the fallen, Fallen, angel, not the one who's an angel, fallen. Superheroes, supervillains need each other a battle. So those who are dramatic, they're the same dramatic teenagers I didn't take seriously, because it's like, okay, you're really exaggerating. Like all of it, you're taking it out of proportion. Secure attachment. It's considered boring by those who want to have a high with their visceral. I consider it boring to have to put up with bullshit, but I've gotten used to it because, excuse me, you're confused with science spirituality. No, I'm not. I know what I'm talking. No, I don't do any of this. I learned from teenagers how not to do this because, again, I know where to find the smart ones. I only get to have fun conversations. That's why our community, it's only fun people. As the comedian said to his mom, we can't make jokes that will make everybody happy. I like to have conversations. So we're here as people who don't take things personally because we don't have charges on any subject matters. Falsifiable. Any of our cherishable beliefs can be falsifiable. People who want to make sense of things know exactly how to do it. When they are doing it, we know they're doing it. We're not even in the interaction at that point, because by the third time you will have made me aware, no, because I'm a mystic too. Okay, I'm sorry, let me try again. I bring together sciences, social sciences, humanities, psychology, existentialism, quantum physics, and my spiritual experiences. I'm a mystic, I'm a Reiki man. No, because see, I have Buddha and I have quantum physics. So now I got show and tell from the 3-year-old with the 16-year-old, and I'm having a good time because I'm really now curious. What the fuck he got? So something amazing to tell me, because that's what a 3-year-old who's not broken says. It's like, okay, so you know what? And also I've been shown how usually we're ending up in the same place. I say, tell me what your idea is, because probably we're headed the same place. Yes. There we go. We were headed the same place. This is awesome. So if you want more information on what I do, I can share with you, and there you go. So again, adaptive child part people, they're on a mission to prove themselves with an attachment wound that involves their fathers, their mothers, their siblings, their whatever, their topic, you name it. They're on a roll, and we will let the 3-year-old talk. That way they will be heard, because that's what didn't happen when they were a kid. They will be like, well, you're not taking my side. And that's when a grown-up says, look, I have different opinions. Your opinion's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. And they will, again, not like that you're not. It's like, look, I don't do this. I have an opinion. For all I know, I am wrong. I'm not actually able to prove it or not. So I can be dumb. Can we drop it now? Tomato, what do you think? You're just, and no, I'm not. I'm just trying to explain that I think we're at an impasse, or whatever the word is. You mind? Can we go now? And that's how you learn to have fun with ignorant people. And that's because there's a bunch of insecure people out there who don't like to learn, actually, and they interrupt my classes for shortcuts. They're not mine, though. I know I have to share with other 3-year-olds. You better bet, though, when I'm being interrupted for a shortcut twice, and it's like, dude, did you hear the explanation the first time? I mean, I'm not good in math, and I will ask questions, but sometimes I'll wait till after class so that I can say, hey, professor, I'm so dumb that I didn't get any of it. Could you help me, please? Without the class, I'll take hours. Do you have hours? I'll do something. Do you have a tutor? Do you have a tutor? I won't interrupt the class, but I don't understand this. Can you please help me understand it? I don't want to be stupid, you know what I mean? I'm trying to actually learn the material. So that's how it works when you care. That's for mystics, spiritual, and mindfully living, loving people. I do personal development, self-help, and spiritual growth for real, not pretend. And I'm not kidding when I say the ascension energies are going to keep bringing shit up. But again, I'm also not kidding that fear consistently will navigate with love, because I've seen it. They're stagnating as we speak. My facade friend is one of them. I got some of my twin flames in that boat. I got some of my soulmates in that boat. I got a bunch of people in that boat, actually. And I know why. Diversity. It's a crowd. So again, at IHP, we heal trauma seriously because we heal ourselves, meaning we don't have trauma charges, and we have healthy self-worth. So passionate lovers, they don't say I do and then they turn their back on you. They actually face you, and this is the most amazing of interactions. It's intelligence. We'll be back with something because Patrick Tan shared some good stuff, and I'm going to make a shorter version of this just in case we got people who want the short version. But thanks for stopping by. Again, not all people want healing. It's okay. We can hang out with our brothers and sisters of 3D, 4D frequency because we have laws, and usually they won't like our healthy self-worth boundaries, but we don't say, You're trying to become me. That's not how it works. You repeat yourself. The 3-year-old eventually understands it. Or they'll be like, you know what? I don't like you. No, they don't ever say that. Again, by the time you repeated yourself the 3rd time, they know you're serious. By the 5th time, there won't be any negotiation. It will be, I'm walking a walk, talking a talk. I told you this long time ago, 3rd time. What do you want? I don't think we're going to do this. So this, I've had these things happen. And when you're bitch, you're witch, or whatever, it's okay. You know what? I don't say anything. Am I physically safe? Yes. Okay, there you go. It's done. It's not about right or wrong. This is what healthy self-worth means. It means that we can agree to disagree and then to respect, accept, and either expand together differently or not. So again, nobody is in a losing team because that doesn't exist with God. Nope. Only the ones who are losers themselves want somebody to be a losing team, because they need to feel like they're winners. That's the insecure person. You see what I'm saying? We're all winners. Well, we are if we save the air, the water, the food, but we'll be back.